Hi everyone, welcome back to part 5 of the engine build series. This one's all about rebuilding the engine. So I'll be heading across to BCR Performance once again, and Ben will take us through the entire process of how he rebuilds the CB500 engines.
Hello guys, welcome back to BCR. Today we're going to do the next part of the engine build series. We're going to build the bottom half and the top half of the engine, so basically get the whole motor finished. I'm going to show you how I assemble it, the little tricks that I do. So the engine's been completely cleaned, all the engine parts have been degreased. The cases have been fully vapor blasted, blown out, washed through over and over, because obviously you don't want to get any form of the glass bead
Grit, yeah,
in the motor. So we've gone through that. I've already put the new rod bolts in the rods. We're going to put the shells in. So with these shells, you have a little there, you put that in. So like just like a little tab there, and push it down. And same on the bottom half. Best thing to do when you put them in is do that, and then basically push the bearing inwards and fold it down.
Right, yeah.
And that prevents any break. I mean, I'll show you in a minute. So next we'll put the pistons on the rods. So we've got new clips to go in. A lot of people struggle with these, you use all sorts of levers and everything else.
Yeah.
On the CBs, for example, they've got two little tiny notches. All you need to do is put the half in there and push it up and pop it in.
Yeah.
Do you want to have a go? I think we should video you trying.
Not unless you want it bent.
Come on, let's have a go. Bit of assembly lube just inside the piston housings.
Go on, yeah.
Can be a little bit tight, these, but it's fine. Now, these are directional. That piece there goes towards the inlet.
Right.
That's basically the oil jet. Push them in. Then we get square, slide them in, job done. And then next pin. There we go. Wipe everything off. Clean that excess off. So your oil scraper ring goes on first. Put that there and to the side of the pin. Then 1/3 round, do the bottom one. Keeping that closed. You have got to be careful with these because they do slip, don't it? I think I've took next doors. When I put these on, I don't pull them at all. Yeah. I let them just run around the edge of the piston. Let them form themselves. Yeah, because if you try, you will snap them very easily. The spring opening's there.
Yeah.
Top one is there, and the other one is that side, so they're spread apart. Next is your middle ring. A good way of doing the top ones, just
roll it around, yeah.
Roll it around. And then with these, because the edges of these are sharper, you don't want to damage the edge of the piston. So bring it around there and just use the feeler gauge.
Yep.
Pop it down. And then the top one, same again.
Top one.
Yeah. There you go, so that's one.
Yep, cool.
Setup done. I say just double check that we put the clips in, make sure the clips are in correctly. Sometimes your clips can look like they're in, but they're not fully seated.
Yeah.
So yeah, they're both in, both lubricated. Rods are the correct way around, inlet sorted. Okay, so the next step is we're going to put the pistons in the bores. So I'm just going to run.
Yeah, they look miles better than
when
we strip the engine down.
Yeah, your bore hone is incredibly crucial for the engine braking. If you have the wrong cross-hatching, the wrong shape cross-hatching, etc., your rings won't bed in, your engine will burn oil.
So you're after a cross-hatch, aren't you?
Yeah, you want a cross-hatch. Yeah, ideally you want the cross-hatching to be about 45 degree. All the small valleys and peaks that are created by the cross-hatching hold oil. So when the rings are bedding in, the rings are lubricated. And we'll get cylinder number 1, which is this one. Your bores have to be spotless. Before I went over those bores with a clean white rag, brake cleaner, and you just scrub them until no more dirt comes off. Put some on the skirt, just a little, don't need load, just a little bit. Pop it down, close it up very carefully because you've got to get the rings in. Bring them over, locate the bottom. And the good thing about these is, as I say, you can just make them in and then.
Oh, nice.
Easy as that.
One in.
That's it, one in. Slot that in, bring that down, in.
Job done.
That's 2 in.
Both in, yep.
Yeah. Next, we'll bring this over, we'll put the gearbox in.
It's all gearbox build now then, yeah?
Yeah, we'll just put this, it's here, we'll assemble the gearbox. So put that in. Put it near neutral. Reel my shaft.
Hooray! I wonder if one of them jokes is going.
Yeah, nothing better than a good oiled shaft. Put that one in. 12 newton meters. Okay, that's that. Yeah, all good. Bottom end's good for now. So balance shaft bearings. Remember what I was saying before? Push it in.
Yeah, forward.
Yeah, so forward. And what it does is it stops that. So you kind of bend in a slight way. We'll do the mains now. So this is the left side of the engine because it's flipped over. This is the left, and then on that side, that's the left, so they're both on the correct side. Same again with these. That's it. Push them in. Do this one. Same one on this side.
Just them all in. Thick that, isn't it?
Yeah, it's like a syrup. This is the difficult bit. You've got to carefully locate the crank into place. Keep rotating it. That's it. It sits in.
Actually done.
Push the pistons up so they meet. Just putting the rod caps on, pressing them into place. Now we'll put the rod nuts on. This is the good stuff. Very important that you lubricate these threads. You can use, normal oil if you want to do the molly stuff, but this is like dedicated for it. So that's and final finish 35.
The last stage then.
Yeah, that's it. 35 exact. So the next step is put the balance shaft in. Got to be lined up. If you keep all the gears on like we have a number one there with a small arrow, and then a line here, a flat line that lines up with the flat line on the balance shaft.
Yeah.
Because there's the quieting gears on these, it'll look like it's off. Once the clutch goes in, it will be correct. Okay, now your gearbox.
Because you want fresh motor in it when it's done.
Yeah, she's going to be well. There's a few of these about, especially in this spec as well.
So just a bit of grease.
Yeah, just a bit of molly. Yeah. We'll be priming the oil system before we actually start the bike anyway, so the whole motor will be full of oil before you actually start the engine. The box will just drop in. Nice. And then that's in neutral. Just going to pour a little bit of oil on the gears, in the grooves, engine build lube.
It's like the stuff you get on an ice cream, that.
It does, yeah. The casing dowel, so one goes there.
That's just the case dowels, then, is it? Yeah.
So it locates properly. One in the bottom. Then you have two oil jets. Don't want to put these in the wrong way around. So you've got to rest it on this piece. Push the guides in. There's the tensioner guide. And this is the black guide that runs on.
Yep. So it all back in together.
So we'll put the stiffer detent spring in now because it makes it easy to put the gearbox in and hold it in place. So let's put your oil pump in. So now we're ready to put the bottom crankcase half onto the top crankcase half. Get it on my finger. Very lightly put it on. I don't put a lot on. Plenty of oil is good on your engine components. Plenty of liquid gasket isn't. Yeah, so now get a piece of card and just dab it.
Just to make it tacky.
You locate the bottom forks. Get the bottom forks in. And then repeat it all right. That's it. Bit of this just on the threads. A touch underneath. It's important because when you're tightening this up, that feeling when you're tightening a bolt, when it goes hard, a lot of that is friction. Start in the centre, work your way out. Crisscross.
So that's at 25 then now, yeah?
Well, I've just done a full 25.
Yeah.
I'm going back over it, just double checking them all. Say with stuff like this, people's lives are at risk. If you leave a bolt loose, when it comes undone, you can kill someone, so just got to make sure I check every one of them. That's all the crankcase centre ones set to 25 newton meters, and I was going to do these top ones to 12 newton meters. Another little tip, if you ever have a motorbike and doing some work, you have copper washers, you're not sure where they go. Most bikes will have an arrow see these arrows?
Oh, yeah.
That identifies it needs a copper wash underneath it.
Oh, right.
Because obviously there's an oil way there or something like that, something along them lines.
Everything moving all okay then?
Yeah, beautiful.
Looks loads better in them bores now though, compared to what it looked like when we first
Absolutely.
saw it.
Yeah, definitely. So what we'll do next is we'll build a head up.
Yep.
And then we'll put the head on. So we're onto the cylinder head now. Obviously we've given it a skim. We've cut all the valve seats, nice triangle. All the valve seats and valves are sealing perfectly. So what we'll do, we'll start to build this. So we put the valve spring shims in place. Always put the springs in first before you put your valve stem seals on. Then you put your stem seals on. Then you put your valves in and you build it up. We've checked all the valve guide, 2 valve stem clearances. We've checked the run out of all the valves. Everything's spot on. Put it through, put it locate it.
Quite easy popping out there.
Yeah, they're easy here. These are CB500.
Can't really see it on the camera easy. You just see them in there.
Yeah, they're in the bottom. Slot it in place. Bit of twist. Sometimes you may have a little bit of debris sitting on the seat or on the valve. It can be anything. So when you put it in, you look down and the valve looks open. Just give it a couple of taps like that. Twist it, tap it, and it should clear out. Into the exhaust. Right, next, all your springs. So on the spring on the CVs, the white goes to the top.
When I was cleaning them, I was there trying to scratch it off.
Well, that wouldn't have been ideal. That is something you'd do. You put your retainers on. These are your retainers.
Yeah.
Put your colleton first. Sure, so I'll go through all of them.
So that's them all in.
Get it lined up. Put your finger over it so they can't come out. And
They wind it down.
yeah, wind it down, give it a little wiggle, and then back it off. Easy as that. Right, okay, so we're going to move on to doing the valve clearances now. Obviously, we've got the high lift cams put in. So I've already put in a base setting on the shims. Because we're using the high lift cams, we need a bigger shim, as I do so many of them, and know what sort of range that shim needs to be. The process to check your valve clearances normally is, this is basically a set of feeler gauges. Each blade is a different thickness, and each one, you have your ranges. So on the CBs, it's between 0.16 to 0.18. On the inlets and exhaust is between 0.25 to 0.27. If you look, I don't know if you probably won't be able to see it, but each blade, I mean, that's a 0.10, 0.12, 0.15, 0.17, etc. They go up in that sort of range. For the sake of this video, I've already measured all of these and put it on the chart. But just to quickly show you what you do, with the CB500, you can do them on the bench. If you had an inline 4, for example, it'd be a lot easier to put the engine in the bike, time it all up, and then rotate it over to get the journals in the right places and to make sure the cam's in the right places to be able to check the clearances. So 0.17, we'll do the second one because I know that first one's there. So I've got a 0.17 and you push it underneath and you're feeling for resistance. That is too loose, as you can see, it goes in.
See that?
Yeah, it's too loose.
And again, so this is just literally your experience feeling.
It's just off feel.
Yeah,
it's just off feel. That's it. You're just looking for a very slight pull.
Yeah.
And this next one now is a 0.20. That's a touch tighter. Next one will go to a 0.23. That's a lot harder to put in.
Yeah, you can see that, yeah.
But I can put it in, and now it's got too much.
Yeah.
So I know that I'm going to go in the middle of that. So the first one I had was a 0.2. That one was a 0.23. So I'm going to go in the middle of, which is obviously 0.215. So that's what I've made a note of there, 0.215. So you need that for all of the valves. Take your first base numbers. And then once you've done that, just take out all of the hand caps. So I'll take them out. And now what we'll do is we'll show them the inlets. So all I do, I take them out. You have your little shim. For your first valve, our clearance was 0.19. We want to get it within 0.16 to 0.18. So what we'll do is we'll measure the shim that we've got. So that shim is a 3mm thick shim, right? Very easy to do. We want to tighten that clearance up. So the easiest way to do it, 3.00. Add your current clearance, which is 0.19. That gives you that, right? And then basically you want to take off the clearance that you want. Right. So take away. We'll go in the middle. We'll go 0.17 equals, and then that's the shim size you need. A lot of the shim kits come in, they're like these, where you just have they go in 0.05 increments. I've got in-betweens, which is ideal. So that is a 3.02. So I'll look for a 3.02 in here, which will be this one of these down here. Always check the shim you take out. Find a lot of the time you get a shim and it's like a little bit oversized. So that came out. That should be, that one is a 3.025. So that's pretty good.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? So we've got that shim.
027, so yeah.
So we can put that in, place that in. Now what we'll do, we'll put the cam back in.
So what's the difference with these new cams that we've got then?
They're basically higher lift, more duration. So you open the valve further and you open the valve for longer, basically. These are the cam that you can use on the standard springs. Right, so now obviously we've shimmed the cylinder head up. It's now ready to install. So we've got our standard gasket here. Always use a standard genuine gasket, never use the aftermarket ones you can get hold of. I do that with most engines. It's always just worth using genuine because it was made specifically for this engine. So you put your gasket in place, put your cylinder head up, feed it in. You've got your 2 dial pins that I've located, put them into place, like so. And it should just fall in. Nice little tap in the 2 corners.
That's like an engine now.
It does, yeah. The final one now, 48. So you do it nice and slow. Let it build up to its pressure. Double checking. Right, what we're going to do next is just put the cams in and time it up. Got a standard flywheel here. On these CBs, the way we're going to time this one is just do it on the standard numbers for now. On the flywheel, you have a 0. There's a 0 there. Yeah. Normally you would have the cover on and you'd have the small little window to line it up. But on them, you have an arrow here. That arrow just needs to line up with the 0. Always put the side in, that's the opposite of the cam chain tensioner. Got the 0 lined up there with that, and then on the cam sprocket, there's a 0 there, see it? Yep. And a line. You just want that line flush at the top of the head. Yeah, that's fine. Think. Put that in place. Now all we need to do now is release the tensioner, which on the back of the small screwdriver, just let it release slowly. And these are automatic tensioners, so you don't need to do anything with them.
So that's just set itself now then?
Yeah. Well, as I'm going to turn the engine over now. As I turn it all, it'll tighten itself up if it needs to. See all the oil there going around. Right, time the engine up, everything's all timed up. Double check the valve clearances, they're all spot on. After rotating it a few times, now we're going to install the lightweight flywheel. This also comes as part of the engine bolt-on kit. Sell you these separately if you want. We do have these in stock ready to go. They're just under a kilogram lighter, and they basically fit in the same position. Bit of Loctite on your nut and your bolt, sorry.
How tight's that then?
85. On them ones, just go to 85 on with a bit of Loctite with that flywheel. Your copper lock ring out. Doesn't do any damage at all to your gears, just damages your copper washing. That's all you need.
Oh, so you dropped it between them, yeah?
Yeah, just drop it between the gears, just to tighten it, that's all. A little bit of Loctite in all the threads. It's better to put them in the threads.
So just a tiny
dab of it, yeah, I just put it on that square. It helps keep it in place. And you put it in, it sticks, so it's easy. Just build your water pump back up.
New seals in there as well.
Yeah. Sometimes what you've got to do with these, because the front of these are so corroded.
Yeah.
When you're putting these on, you put a new seal on it, tighten it up against that and it leaks.
Right.
So you just got to put a bead of silicone, a very fine bead of silicone around here.
Right, yeah.
To stop them leaking. Water pumps all in place. All your water jackets are in. Back one, front one. Now what we'll do next is we'll put the starter motor on, flip it upside down, put all the bottom end, all the sump and stuff in, and then we'll flip it back over to the top, put the oil in it, primary oil system, which is ready to go. Nice and tight, okay. Normally, obviously, we'd put it on the bench now, sorry, in the stand, but for the sake of the video, we're just gonna do it all on the bench. Oil pressure. Release valve. Let's get the seal lubricated. All of the seals for that, just everything on the bottom end, just genuine ones. So I use pretty much everything genuine. You can get the aftermarket gasket kits and seal kits, but I'd rather just be...
It's not worth it, is it? When
I just use genuine for everything.
You think of the life of the engine.
That's your oil pickup, oil pressure relief valve. And that's just a feeder tube that feeds from the oil pump into the oil filter, etc. And I'll put the sump into place. Nice new gasket.
So that doesn't need anything on there then, to hold it in place.
You never need to use any form of sealant on a gasket. That's the whole point of a gasket. So we've done all the other little bits. Now the final thing now is we're going to prime the oil system, put the clutch into place. So I'm just putting the bearing retainer in position. Right, oil pump gears first. Oil pumps in, all torqued up. Pre-fill it. Oh, we're just prime. We're not actually. This isn't the oil that's going to run with the engine. Obviously, it's just to prime the oil pump to fill all the holes. We know when it's primed when it comes through these oil jets up here. And just fire it out. There you go. Yeah. See up the top of there? Yeah. And it'll also come out your clutch as well. Ready?
Yeah.
See? Oil system's primed. You know you're getting
oil everywhere.
Oil everywhere. Yeah, it's even it's dripping through all here as well. So that's perfect. Right, we're going to do the clutch. Now, as I say, you don't need any special tools to put a clutch in or take a clutch apart. We've got new steel plates and 2 new outer plates. The inners were good, if you remember. So I've had them soaking in oil for a while. For a standard engine, you'll have 1 thin plate. That is basically the first plate you'd use. So you'd have your 2 anti-vibrating springs here, anti-judder springs. Yeah. Put your thin plate in first. Then your steel. On these ones now, as you want on your second one that you apply it offset. Steel. And your final plate.
So that last one is still in line?
Yeah.
It's only the first
one. Only the first one that goes offset a small amount. Like this one. That'll fall into place. Now pick it up, flip it over. Like so. Now just eyeball them, get them close enough. Straight square them out as best you can. Put a spring in, just nip this up a touch. All you're doing is you're feeding them in. Just give them a little tap. Sure. And then that last one just is the one that's offset. Like that. You slot in like that. Pull the clutch back out. As you can see now, it's all in place nicely. Put the clutch pack together. I've put an extra spring and a washer in place. Right, so now make sure we've got our thrust washer in position. Get our clutch pack. Drop that into the clutch. Like so. Slide it in. A bit tricky this. What you need to do is you need to get it in thereabouts. So you need to just open that up a touch so you get the back gear in. That's it. And then push it in. Like so. Once you've done that, one thing you can't forget, don't just nip it up now. What you have to do is you have to make sure that the pieces on the back of the oil pump are
aligned with the back of it.
That's it, you've got to line them up, yes. So all you do is just put a little bit of pressure on your clutch, feel the sprocket on the bottom, give it a wiggle, make sure it's in position, you'll feel it, there you go, and it'll click in. And the way you know it's right is when those gears are flush.
Oh yeah.
See? So this is how we tighten the centre nut up. Springs, and put little washers over the springs. Drive them all in.
gently either side.
Gently, right? Yeah, just gently rather than. I always put a little bit of Loctite on this. Screw it in. Snip it up and let me get my magic washer. Lock it in the gears. 85 millimeters. All we're doing now is just as if you're looking, like see the little gap. Yeah.
The nut, you mean?
Yeah, so you literally just knock the nut in. See, just a little knock. Once you're clutching, without any form of magic tool, just literally everything you've got on the bench. So just going to put the final cover on. We obviously built the inside up. Have to put on the clutch in position. Put the pickup in place, which is that wire, that's in. Beautiful. Just take your time with these, mate. Just lock them. Any excess shouldn't be, because I am the gasket master. It is, it's the seal of approval. Right, so that's the final part of the engine complete. We've got a nice fresh CB500 engine all ready to go back in the frame. Mark's going to take it back now and build the whole bike. It's then going over back to P3 and we're going to put it on the dyno and give it a run, see what sort of power it produces. But yeah, I hope everyone's enjoyed it. I hope a lot more people now understand the sort of depth that you need to go to, the kit required and everything, yeah, to build a complete CB engine and any engine really in general. How have you found it?
Yeah, it's been good. I mean, I knew there's a lot of work involved with doing it until you start seeing you going through the process, what's involved, the setup. Then obviously the modifying part is particularly enjoyable to watch for me, because obviously that's the bit I've been keen to see, how much we can push it. But yeah, it's been great. I mean,
have you learned a lot?
I've learned a lot how to do it. I couldn't obviously do it myself, so I'll probably be back if I ever need any stuff doing. But yeah, it's I can't wait to give it a run and see what P3 can help us do with the carbs. So we've still got the 900RR carbs that we are going to try and get set up to work with it. We've also got the standard carbs out now, which I've blasted and they're ready to reuse as well. So we'll try and dyno both sets to see if there's any difference in power. Yeah, I mean, hopefully we'll be able to get it out to track, take both my bikes, standard one, this one, and do a bit of back-to-back. You can have a go. Yeah, we'll see, see if we get on with it. Yeah, we'll have a mess around and see what we can do. Cool, so I'll get it back at home, I'll get it put back into the frame, and then, yeah, join us on the next one. Thanks for watching. Thank you very much. Hope you've enjoyed it.